We know that the forever incentives, how special they are. Now, independently, if we're talking about wonderful trips or car programs and so on. So what we would like to know is, how do you integrate this opportunity in the development of your business? What role do this play in the way you develop forever?
Well, I like, for me personally, when I integrate the incentives into the development of an FBO, it's when I see that spark of desire in the FBO. I see that desire to achieve more, desire to become more, and actually the fact that they are true to their word. Because when you can't build an incentive business with someone who won't focus on the basics. So if someone is focusing on the basics, doing their retail, doing their contacting, moving through the marketing model, normally about supervisor onwards, I begin to start just getting them curious about the incentive program. So I like to get them thinking about it quite early on. So
let me ask you the following thing. We know that our marketing plan is absolutely amazing.
Correct.
In the terms it rewards you. So isn't that enough? Why do we need incentives?
I think that the marketing model is quite incredible. But I think the incentives take the marketing plan to another level. And I think that it's Rex's way of allowing you to experience things that you may never ever get to experience on your own. Because if I think about the travel incentive for a start, I mean, I've been very privileged to travel literally all around the world with Forever. And in going on the Forever incentives, I remember coming to Austria. And we can all go to Austria. We can all jump on a plane. Transportation is cheap. You can have cheap Airbnb, cheap holiday. But when you travel with Forever, it's never at that level, it's at this level. And this was the time that Rex got the old steam train out of the museum. He took a steam train out of the museum, which had been there for how many years?
I think it was 70, 80 years it was there.
So for 70, 80 years, the last steam train that ever traveled in Austria from, where was it from?
We went from Munich to Schloss Ludwig, which is a very famous, in Germany, yes, exactly.
Where else can you experience that? We've been inside palaces, into king's private chambers, where we've had people play beautiful concert music in Hungary. And we've been, I mean, I literally cannot explain to you the experience you get when you travel with Forever. And I think that when you ask Rex why, he says, I want you to feel and experience things that maybe you might not have the chance to do so on your own.
Katrin, what do you observe after normally a Forever trip? When you talk to somebody of your team? I mean, what is the kind of sensation you get? Because, as Nechemam told, you are working very close with your team, which means also after an event, you continue to work with your team. So what do you feel after a trip is something special? Do you feel something?
At first, I try to get as many as possible people to this event, so they can either qualify or buy tickets now, like non-qualifier tickets for Stockholm, because we cannot explain what happens there. The best is they see it by themselves, so it starts before the event. The real hard work is getting people to the event, promoting the tickets and the trips and the hotels, so it's more easy to take a lot of people with us. And also when I went to my incentive trips to Jayne's Cureless Academy, on a regular basis, I try to not come alone. I always took leaders with me. Some understood English, some not, but they got the spirit. And after, and of course, we sit together in the same evening and the week after, and we correcting our plans. Usually the goals are higher after such an event.
So let's say that with a forever trip, we are able, obviously, to touch the heart of an FBO, but particularly a part of his brain also that will define this creativity also for the future.
I think that I don't think people understand the power of having an event, a global event in their country. Because when we were told we were having the global rally in the UK, everybody said, oh, but we want to go to Hawaii, we want to go to Malaysia, we want to travel out. And I said, no. You will have many years of traveling out. We want the rally here. And we worked very hard, as Katrin said, to promote the event, promote the event, promote the event. 6 months we are training on the event, the event, the event, the event. The event comes, and there are 20,000 people there. And everybody comes, all of our teams, all of our guests, everybody comes. And the event opens the eyes for the people who are there. And then afterwards, boom, business goes crazy.
Yeah, I think that was the most exciting event I never experienced before, because we were more than 20,000.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Was absolutely record, absolutely incredible, and you're absolutely right.
But I think we're going to have that same kind of feeling in Scandinavia, because in Stockholm they already have maybe 16,000 tickets.
So, yeah.
And if you haven't got a ticket, get one, because the impact it will have on you is incredible. But if you take people with you, the impact it has on them will be mind-blowing.
So let's change a little bit now, and let's focus on the way of doing business. I mean, we all know everybody here is looking for what is the right system, what is the right way. Is there a perfect way? So, Katrin, I would like to ask you, what is your perspective?
Of course, I'm a lover of a system. I cannot work without any system. I need to have a structure and a system. I'm this kind of person. And unfortunately, I could not get it from my sponsor because she died. But I knew there has to be a system for my team. So I've been learning a lot from my friend and mentor, Jayne, how to put a system in place. And actually, I'm working her system. I translated it into German and other languages. And that's why we can go along so well, because it's quite the same way of system. And I think, and I believe, when people working systematically, you can really know what will be their success. It's not an accident. But who's working without system, this is a hobby, and it can be just an accident. But with a system, we can really bring people to the point where they want to come. So I strongly believe in working in a system.
Jayne, now I think everybody in the forever world would agree that the number one system we all know is the system you defined, you developed in years and years of experience with John. There is no doubt about that. Now, I suppose some of our FBOs will ask themselves, okay, how did it get to have this kind of system? Because it really didn't happen from one day to the other. So what is the suggestion you give to our FBOs how to build their own system?
Well, the system came about in the first 4 or 5 months of us being in Forever. Because if you remember yesterday, I said in the first few weeks I was retailing. And this is easy to manage. You know, you have some documents about your customers. But we began to recruit quickly, and we began to see other people in our team recruit. And the one thing that we recognized as the business began to grow was everybody was saying to us, what do we do, what do we do, what do we do? And it was exhausting telling everybody individually or in small groups. So John and I sat down and we said, we need to create a blueprint for success. And this blueprint must be really, really simple. It must identify their goals. It must be able to match their goals with the marketing model. So if you want maybe 200 or 300 euros a month, we teach you how to retail. If you want maybe 1,000 to 2,000 a month, we teach you how to team build. If you want to replace your income from maybe your high-flying corporate job, we teach you how to be a manager and develop managers. So we had to create that, and then around that, we created the activity that supported those areas of income. And then the process of monitoring the activity. And I truly believe in all of my heart, and I'm a very good student, and when I first started in Forever, there were no mentors in Forever. I didn't have someone to talk to. My sponsor didn't know anything. We didn't have 25 years of history. It was just me and John. So I began to look at some of the great people in network marketing from many years before, and every single great leader was saying, have a system, have a system, have a system. So John and I said we need to create a system which is simple, scalable, duplicatable, and can go anywhere around the world. And that's what we did.
You talked about the blueprint. My impression from what I'm observing, also obviously having a lot to do every day with our FPSOs, is how important it is to have continuity in this blueprint. And what very often happens that this blueprint is defined, 2 months later it is changed completely again, 3 months later is again changed completely. So what is the secret of defining a blueprint and then keeping it or developing it step by step?
Well, the first thing is I'm living proof the system works, right?
I would say definitely yes.
It works. But what you find two things happen. When an FBO begins to work the system, there will always be a part of the system they don't like. Well, I don't want to make a phone call. I don't want to sell a product. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So rather than saying, oh, maybe I need to learn that, they change the system to suit what they like and they don't like. And the minute they change the system, there is confusion. Because now I teach the system to Katrin. She goes, amazing. She teaches it to you and you go, I don't like page 10. I'm going to change it. You then go and recruit somebody else. They come to our training. We like page 10 because we know it works, but you've changed it. Now your new FBO is going, well, I'm confused. Florian's saying one thing, Jayne and Katrin are saying the other. Where's the truth? So immediately there is confusion. Now, you keep the system pure and simple. You never mess with it. What you do is we grow ourselves. And I always say when you are doing anything, if there is something that a key leader trains you on and you feel uncomfortable with it, it's very often the one area that you need to become comfortable with, because it's the one area, if you master, it will enable you to fly. And I speak from experience, Florian, because when I first joined the business, I was terrified of making phone calls. Seriously, I was really scared of picking up the phone. And so what I did is I tried to do everything other than pick up the phone. And guess what? Didn't work. And it was only when I said, Jayne, get over yourself and learn to communicate, that I picked up the phone. I was terrible. I would pick up the phone, it would ring once, and I'd hang up and go, they're out. I would pick up the phone and it was engaged. I'd say, brilliant, I don't have to talk to them. But who was I denying? You know, it was silly. And the other thing is the ego. We have this in the team all around the world. And we have people that they grow in the business. We all have it, Katrin. And they suddenly have a pin, and they have a position and a check, and they suddenly go, I don't need your system. So they unplug, and off they go. Now you have to bless and release, you have to let them go, but you watch, and you watch. And eventually, when it gets a little tough, case credits maybe aren't going, maybe their team are confused and coming to you, you have a little word with them and you say, come on, come back in, we miss you. So always give them room to come back in. So the system is pure. You don't need to change it. It's the blueprint. What you need to do is grow yourself. You agree?
Katrin, you took basically over the system Jayne and John developed. So was there a moment at the beginning when you took the system, let me say, where you thought, I would like to adapt this or adapt this others? And if yes, how did you manage then to keep it as it was? Because I guess one of the reasons why you are so successful is exactly for what Jayne said just now. You kept it, the system, and if there were some areas where you were weak, you just continued to go until you were able to master it.
Of course, in the countries, there's a different mentality.
Yeah.
So the English humor is not the German humor and stuff like this.
No way.
Sometimes we have to change some wording. Yeah. Even in some phone call wording, the German would say it different. But I know my home country's mentality, so I take the system and I put it into the way the people would speak in this country. So there's a small adjustment, but not a change of the system. And I'm very strict on this. If someone wants to work with me and I spend my personal time and he's not working my system, I'm sorry, I'm out. He can come back anytime because I know my system made me diamond and double diamond, and my friend, the top distributor in the world. So if someone is having a question mark if this works, then it's not something wrong with the system. It's something wrong with that person. I'm very strict. Maybe this is very German.
It's very German.
We are in Austria. Now the audience will hate me.
But what Katrin said is absolutely right. So I have a massive team in Italy. And when we work the system in Italy, we have an Italian feel. When I work in South Africa, we have a very different feel. Yeah. When we're working in Nigeria, it's a completely different feel, but the system is the same. So, Florian, if we go and train, when I train the system, everybody understands. But of course, it's a little different because culturally it has to be.
Yeah. Maybe I may add something. I'm working since 20 years in Austria. And I just have successful teams because I committed to be every single month 1 week in Austria and also adapt their mentality, put their flag on my presentations, not the German flag, and be sensitive for the culture. Right. And we should do that in every country. And I think that's why me as a foreigner, I could be successful in Austria. Thank you.
Wonderful. But Katrin, let me be a little bit provocative, and let's say that on that day that you decided to use the system from Jayne and John, let's say there was not opportunity to get that system. So whatever, for what reason, whatever. So how would you have approached then the way to develop your own system probably?
I have also an additional my own system because I've been in network marketing before. I've been also a diamond manager in another company before forever. So I have some experience and I still have the same coach since 25 years. I have personal coachings for myself. We discuss the situation, what is the change on the marketplace. Yep. In my country and in other countries where I want to work, for example, how to implement the online business, but still being correctly in network marketing. So he's also my second opinion, and I'm very happy to have him on my side. He's not cheap, but this is my investment in my personal development. And he was also helping me to update my German system the last 1.5 years. But it's still regarding Jayne's, so it's always together. It's not a big difference. It's just like a small adjustment and adding the social media and online marketing and the latest tools which would work, and he knows perfectly on the German-speaking market. So it's also important to not be a dinosaur, to update our dinosaurus. What's
a dinosaurus.
Even we are 20 years in the business, we have to update, and marketing is very fast nowadays. And of course, I'm an independent FBO. I need to be a leader for my team and update everything. I cannot always ask Jayne, can you update?
No.
So I have to do it.
She does always ask me, can I have your slides? Can I have... Can I just say, though, I think there's a difference between a system and being current with the way that you apply it. Because if I look at the system that we use, the core principles are the same, the ethics and the values. But of course, we're progressing. You know, 6, 7 years ago, we didn't really have social media. You know, and if we look at today, where we have webinars and Facebook and lives and WhatsApp and what have you, all of that just makes the system go quicker. So you layer the system with what's relevant today.
Florian, let me please add something for Austria. I got asked so many times, why you just do your network academies in Germany? And for this year, I open it up to Austria in Hagenbrunn with my coach and mentor, and we will do a certified network marketing academy in June, in August, and in autumn. So feel free to join.
I think that's fantastic. Thank you, Katrin. It's a unique opportunity. Wonderful.
Yeah.
We are happy as a company to support you in everything, so wonderful.
But isn't that refreshing? Think about that, where the company is happy to support those who are doing the business in the right way. So it's such a great relationship to know that you've got that line of communication where the company are interested in what we're doing, they will support us, and in turn, we support the MD and the staff as well.
It's a win-win.
It's
We're
a win-win
on the
for everybody.
Same ship, and we just want to come to our final destination. A very famous statesman, Winston Churchill, used to say, success is the ability to go from one failure to another without losing enthusiasm.
We never fail, we only learn.
That's exactly the right answer.
We never fail. If our mindset is that if something doesn't go right, we failed, then we're doomed. For me, I am my own best critique. And if I have not done something well, or I have not brought my best game to the table, then I will say, Jayne, how could I improve? What did I learn? How can I be better? So we never fail, we only learn.
Katrin?
My slogan is surround yourself with giants. So I'm always very careful who are the 5 people around me, and they will be people I can grow with, together with them. They will not pull me down. Sometimes you have to exchange somebody to grow yourself and be surrounded with the right people. And I think this has to, even as a leader and top leader, we need somewhere to get energy. And of course, we are doing mistakes. There is no success without mistakes. But we should be careful whom we listen to. Yeah. At first, we should listen to the one in our industry who is already steps ahead, so we can follow in the footsteps. And of course, people who know the industry very well, but not listening to someone who didn't do the job, who was just writing a book or doing something, but has nothing to do with our job. So we can actually not fail if we surround ourselves with giants. And so I can proudly say I have 5 people around me I can always grow with and grow on, and also as a person. And that's why we should be looking around us, who are these 5 people? And the better people we have around us, the less big mistakes we will make, because we will go in the same direction.
Wonderful.
I'm still waiting to be invited to be one of the 5.
You're the number 1.
Jayne, you touched it just a couple of minutes ago, social media.
Yes.
So social media is really, let's say, is it maybe changing the rules of doing the business? I don't know. And what is the experience you do with social media? In which way is it changing, if it's changing, the way you do business or the way you want to do business in the future?
Oh, that's a big question. I think social media has, of course, changed the world, not just in our industry, but it's changed the world. I always say social media can be your best friend and your worst enemy. And I think that, you know, I can say that both of us have had to reinvent ourselves to be compliant, to be professional, to be authentic, to be approachable, to be fun, to be business orientated, to be ourselves on social media. The difficulty I see with social media is a lot of people think it's the only way to do business. And I think that people need to step back a little bit and understand it's just one way to do business. And I think that if you want to be a rounded FBO, you need to be multifaceted. In other words, it's not just about social media. It's about embracing the goodness of social media and allowing it to connect you with people all around the world for the right reasons, but equally understanding that people like personal contact. There's nothing more powerful than eye to eye, heart to heart. But I would say that social media is very important in what we do, but only will it serve you well if you learn how to use it properly.
Katrin, what is the experience you are doing now with social media?
It has to be done correctly because we saw countries going down with the wrong way of working with social media.
Yeah.
And we, of course, we've been watching that and we don't want to do the same mistakes. That's why I'm very careful what I teach my team about social media. It has to have a value for people.
Yeah.
And people have to be authentic and not like a fake person, which they are not, and pretending things what they don't have. People will shortly see that it's wrong, and then they will blame the industry. And we want to keep network marketing and Forever Living on a very high-class name, so we have to be really valuable on social media and in general in online marketing, because the internet is very fast, and we have to make sure that we create and keep up creating our brand Forever Living in network marketing as a very pure and giant correct company. And that has to be seen on social media.
Jayne, you know, when you look at a football match, soccer match, right, soccer you say, then they always show you the stats. So this team kept the ball for 70%, the other one for 30%. So let's imagine we're talking about a soccer game regarding social media. Now, what is your percentage approximately where you keep the ball as, let me say, the classic way of doing business, the one-to-one approach, and how much is this in percentage the social media?
Well, I guess I'm a bit old school maybe, but I like to think that I'm about, from a recruiting point of view, I like to think that I'm probably, well, I know I am, I'm probably about 40% social media and about 60% some of the traditional methods of face-to-face, connecting, working the who do you know list, helping new FBOs work their list, networking through people, because I still believe the power of networking, of connecting, of building that relationship offline is very, very powerful. So about 60-40.
Very interesting. Katrin, what is your percentage?
This is part of my updated system. So I have offline and online system updated, and I train now how to get new leads over social media and how to do a chat or a phone call with them to get them immediately on a personal talk. It can be also on a Zoom if the person lives in another city or country. And make sure on one of the next events, wherever, they can fly wherever nowadays, they should see an offline event. And it doesn't have to be in their area.
How much of your marketing are you doing offline?
So I'm still in the learning curve, so maybe 30-35% social media.
And the rest.
I start changing because I don't want to be a dinosaur, yeah?
But I don't think it's about being a dinosaur.
But still,
I think
offline
it's
is
about
important.
No,
balance.
definitely.
It's balance.
Absolutely.
Offline
and
is
I ask you
important
both
also.
these questions because we have here excellent example of excellence in the forever world. And that's exactly to give here a clear message also that the classic way of doing business is the mainstream.
Well, I've already recruited and sponsored and developed 2 supervisors this year. They both came from not social media. And I have 3 new people from social media. So there's a balance there.
Wonderful, very
So
interesting.
it's a good combination. I also got some leads. Now I'm recruiting in Vienna. I get them from social media, and I have my offline.
Maybe you and I need to come and really hit Vienna.
Oh, yeah.
What do you reckon?
I started already 2 months ago an offline business opportunity meeting, and 2 days later, an offline fast start. But these leads are coming from social media. So it's always a
balance.
combination.
Jayne, is it a case, the products you choose to work with, or is there a strategy behind the selection you choose?
Yeah. There's a strategy behind the selection for us, very much so, especially building a global business. So in our own home country, we always take the top 15 products and we look at the marketplace that those products fit into in relation to where the growth margins are, times of the year, etc. But if I'm going into another country to launch a business, the first thing I will do is do my research on products that are familiar for that country. So, for example, when you go into countries where, like Africa, you know, there is a very different demographic towards the product there than there is where we are at home in the UK. So we very much have a strategy for product, yeah. I don't just, you know, I work with the core product. That core product, the core forever products, I think are the quickest ones to use, to see a result, and the conversationally market to others.
Katrin, do you also have a clear strategy to focus on certain products?
The only thing I promote is the starter touch, vital touch number 7. So it's the around top 15 to 20 products. And if the company is having them as the top seller since 40 years, so there cannot something wrong with that. And all the additional programs like Clean 9 and so on, of course they can start with that additional, like in the 4-case credit package in Germany and Austria. But it's not for the bathroom. We need to take shower with our products, use the tooth gel, and everything what we have in daily use, it's in our starter package, and it's part of the top 15 to 20. The more people are using our products, the better we can help with health, and not with some specific products, with the top sellers, which the company has actually since 40 years. And fortunately, we have them in a nice box in Germany, Austria.
I hope so. Let me ask the last question. What is, in your opinion, the level of expertise you want to have regarding a product? Do you want to know everything what is in that product? Do you want to be able to know what is in position number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or what is it?
Okay, I get many people coming to me saying, Jayne, tell me how this works or how that works. And I say, I have no idea. And they go, but you're a diamond manager. I say, yeah, that's why I'm a diamond manager, because I have no idea. So, what I mean to say is I keep it simple. Because if you overcomplicate the product and the specification, all you do is scare people. And they really don't want to be taking on a degree in aloe vera or a degree in... I mean, I still don't know what an anthraquinone is. But I hear people talk about it, and I think, what's one of those? All I want to is drink the gel and feel great. Use the skincare, and it makes a difference. I want to clean my teeth, and my mouth feels fresh. And I want to share the benefits of the products in a very simple way with other people. That's it.
Did you talk? Please remark it, circle it. Katrin.
We see people that learn the products and go to every training, every nutritional training, every training on the product, and they're great at selling, but they never network. There's a balance.
Absolutely. Katrin, also your philosophy?
I think we just have to know the general knowledge about the top 15 to 20 products. And if someone wants to have a deeper knowledge, there are videos from our office. I will not put any own product video out. I always just put them on the Forever Germany channel, because then I'm sure it's free of wrong claims. And that's why I'm talk with a person. If you want to know about a product, a specific product, I send a link to the video which you got already about this product, so it's that easy.
Yes, what we do. It's exactly what we do. If they want to learn the products, there's the training. Yeah. Go do it.
And with these words, I say thank you, Jayne. Thank you, Katrin. It was wonderful to be here with you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.